Coming up on today's Locked On Mavs, we're going to talk about this GM survey that came out earlier today. And today is the very first preseason Mavs game of the year. It's exciting because they're playing the OKC Thunder in Tulsa. Everything about that game and what I'm watching for in the preseason coming up on today's Locked On Mavs.
Doncic, and this is Locked On Mavericks podcast.
The Dallas Mavericks are NBA champions. Bang! Bang! It's good! And the Mavericks have won the game!
If you don't believe, you shouldn't be here.
Welcome to Locked On Mavs. This is one of your co-hosts, half of Locked On Mavs, Isaac Harris, contributor to Mavs.com, contributor to Studio 41 of Mavs.com. And guys, somehow, I think I gave my sickness to Nick over the podcast because I haven't seen Nick in person since I've been sick. But he sent me the bat signal tonight, like super late. One, we got to give him heck for it because he gave me a heads up literally like an hour ago, and I'm recording this later on Tuesday night, and I'm like, all right, I'm riding solo because I'm not going to ask anybody to be a guest this late at night. So you get me today for a good 20-25 minutes. Don't make fun of me if it's a little off the rails. If the ad breaks aren't as smooth, I don't have the soundboard like Nick does. Maybe one day I can get on that level of Locked On World. But today I'm going to talk about this upcoming preseason game tonight and kind of preseason in general, what I'm watching for, what I'm looking for in the preseason, and some position stuff, some players, and all of that. And then I want to talk about this GM survey that came out today, and just some thoughts on it. There's really not a ton of Mavs stuff in it, so there's not a lot of Mavs angles, but there's a few things I want to mention from it and kind of get your thoughts on it. I feel like I'm talking to you, the listener, even though I can't hear you respond. So yeah, but first, if you're watching on YouTube, you know what to do. You do it every time. We need you to do this. Go to the comments, leave just anything below. A lot of you just write anything below, but gosh, I don't know what we could put. What's a question we can put at the bottom? Actually, let's do this. What are you watching? What are you looking for the most in the preseason for the Mavs? Give me something. Is it Josh Green? Is it Jaden Hardy? Is it Christian Wood? Is it a position battle? Is it a storyline? Is it Luka? What do you? I hope it's not Luka because we probably won't see Luka too much in preseason. But what are you looking for in the preseason? Leave that answer below. I just had some dust hit my mic. Let's go. We're already off the rails. Anyway, leave that below on YouTube. If you're listening in your car on the way to work on audio format, good morning. Welcome to the show, and I hope your day is good at work. If you're going to watch the game tonight, basically the only way to watch this game, if you're a Mavs fans, is to go to Mavs.com. And they're obviously playing the Thunder tonight on Wednesday night, first preseason game of the year. And go to Mavs.com. It's going to be streamed there. And so the broadcast that you're going to get for this game is going to be Dana Larson, Bally Sports. It's going to be Bobby Caralla, Mavs.com. And yours truly, myself, from Locked On Mavs /Mavs.com. It's going to be us three kind of calling this game, having fun with it. It's going to be chill. It's going to be fun. And yeah, I mean, if you don't like my voice, then today is just not your day because you're listening to this pod. One, I'm going solo here. Nick's not here. He's sick. And then you probably plan on watching the Mavs game tonight, and you're going to hear my voice there too. So if you hate my voice, I'm sorry. Today is just not your day. But if you love my voice, today is your day. Maybe you should buy a lottery ticket. There's not very many of you in the world like that. But if you do, if that's you, then yeah, today's your day. Let's talk about some preseason. What am I watching for tonight? What am I watching for as the Mavs take on the Thunder tonight on Mavs.com, Studio 41? And I think it has to start with Josh Green, right? Like it has. I think the whole preseason for me, now has to evolve around Josh Green. I went into it thinking, all right, I want to see what the second unit looks like. And I'll mention some of these other ones that I still have some questions about, or at least I just want to see how it works in the preseason. But I think now, after all the hype, after the real live training camp on NBA.com, after all the quotes we've seen from Media Day, training camp, from Michael Finley calling him the MVP of the summer, to Dudley talking about him, to Luka talking about him. And just naturally, a guy in his third season that he was a first round draft pick. He was the 18th overall pick in his draft. The draft was the COVID draft. That was the weird draft in like November or October or whenever it was. His rookie season was weird. He played for Rick Carlisle. Being a rookie playing for Rick Carlisle is weird in itself. And he's had this weird start to his career. And now, all right, you've had a normal summer. This is year 3. Let's figure this thing out. And it feels like everything is everybody's talking about Josh Green's summer. I now want to see it in the preseason. And I think it's the number one thing that I'm watching for this preseason, because we all know how preseason works. We've already seen it across the league. A few of these games, it's already started. People are sitting out. People are resting. People are being super cautious. We're not seeing like full lineups, or a few guys are setting out. We're seeing, rotation shifted a little bit here and there. So I'll tell you, I'll talk about that in a second, about what I'm not watching for. But I think it has to be Josh Green. Is his confidence much better than what it was the last time we've seen it in the playoffs? Is he more comfortable out there? Is his shot there? Is it, is this real? Is this summer of Josh Green that we've talked about? Is this a real thing? And I think no matter the lineups, no matter how much we see him out there, that you can pull takeaways from that. I'm confident in that, of saying, man, Josh Green looks so confident out there. He looks his athleticism, it already popped before, but man, he's putting it all together basically on the floor. His shot, he looks really smooth in the corner. He's hitting his 3-pointers. That's the type of stuff that will start to convert me a little bit and make me believe a little bit in Josh Green's, I don't want to say renaissance, big year. I don't know, breakout. I don't know how you want to even coin that, because we've already talked about what's the best case scenario for Josh Green this year. 8th man, 9th man. I don't think he starts. I don't think he surpasses Christian Wood or Tim Hardaway. So anyway, whatever that looks like, I think that is the number one thing I'm watching for this preseason is Josh Green. Let's just stay with another player that I'm so intrigued by, and that's Jaden Hardy. This guy, we know the whole backstory to Jaden Hardy, right? They have the first round pick. They trade the first round pick, the 26th overall pick in the draft. They trade it with the expiring contracts to get Christian Wood. Heck of a swing. What a great low risk move to go take a swing on Christian Wood. Then the draft is taking place. They move back into the second round. They trade a couple of future seconds. They trade up. They get Jaden Hardy in the second round. They're saying all the right things of, hey, Jaden was on our draft board. We were going to take him at 26 if we still had the pick anyway. Like, this was our guy. We really wanted him. Jaden Hardy, Summer League happens. First game, 28 points. Massive game. The hype is off the rails for Mavs fans. And then the games followed in Summer League, and it came back down to earth. He looks like a rookie, and was like, all right, now we evened out a little bit. We leveled out the expectations. So like, he was super talented guy, for one of the top overall recruits in his draft class, just a year before he, went to the G League Ignite, that year in between high school and the NBA. And here we are, this super talented, a bucket getter, infectious personality. We've seen it in the live training camp, just how much fun of a kid he is. Now let's see what he's learned since Summer League. Like, one of the coolest things I think we've seen that's been talked about from Nico and some of the other guys is, as soon as Summer League ended, Jaden Hardy was in Dallas in the gym working out. And it's like, bam, there was no off time for him. He wanted to get better. He wanted to work out here in Dallas with the coaches, with these guys. We heard about some of the some of these runs that, that were happening before training camp even started. Him and Dinwiddie and Tim running the court. Dinwiddie's posting about him on his Instagram and stuff. That's really cool to see this kid. Hey, he's already in Dallas. He's already working out, already getting some run in with the guys. I want to see what he looks like on the floor. Is it going to be the same? I'm in the camp that I love Jaden Hardy. I just think it's going to be a year or so before we see him play really meaningful minutes on this basketball team. I think it's going to take a little bit of time. I think we owe it to him to be a little patient with it, with the expectations. So I'm excited to see what he looks like. I'm excited to see he's going to get minutes in the preseason. Is he nervous? He's probably naturally going to be nervous. How comfortable and confident is he going to look out there, especially scoring the basketball? Is he going to play on the ball? Is he going to play off the ball? Probably a little bit of both. I'm just excited to see Jaden Hardy play basketball, especially in the preseason. All right, let's take a quick break, and then we're going to be back talking about some other things I'm looking for in the preseason. I got to tell you about PrizePicks. Do you guys know what PrizePicks is? Basically, you can go on PrizePicks.com and you can place bets down on, like, hey, if you want to bet Luka Doncic points in a specific game, like coming up tonight, versus Shai Gilgeous-Alexander's points tonight. If you want to go head to head on those, you can. You can do whatever you want, whatever type of format that you want to do and place some bets on. You could do that through PrizePicks. You basically pick 2 to 5 players. If they go score more or less than the PrizePicks projection, you can win up to 10 times your money on any entry. No competing against other people. It's just you versus the projections available, basically. It offers projections on any sport. If you don't want to do NBA, you can do NFL, MLB, NHL, PGA. The list literally goes on. Like, they literally say cricket. If you're into cricket, disc golf, you want to do PrizePicks on disc golf, shoot me a DM. We might need to talk. But really, you can do it in boxing, MMA. You can make your entries in 60 seconds or less. It's that easy. It's safe, fast withdrawals. Currently operational in over 30 states and Canada. Here's how you do it. Download the PrizePicks app or go to prizepicks.com to sign up and play daily fantasy sports. First-time users can receive 100% instant deposit. Match up to $100 with promo code LOCKED ON. If you deposit $100, PrizePicks will give you $100. If you deposit $50, PrizePicks will give you $50. Don't forget to enter the promo code LOCKED ON at sign up for an instant deposit match up to $100. Remember that promo code LOCKED ON. All right, we're back. Let's get back to talking about this preseason. All right, another thing I'm looking for is this third ball handler situation. I want to see what this offense looks like when Luka or Spencer Dinwiddie is not on the floor. Now, I don't know who's going to be playing in this Oklahoma City Thunder game for either one of the teams. And especially, I don't think we're going to see Luka at some point in the preseason, as far as, like, I don't think we're going to see, let me reword that. I don't think we're going to see a ton of Luka in the preseason. We'll definitely see him some, but it would shock me if he's going to play all the minutes in every preseason game. So we're naturally going to get a look, because Dinwiddie's also not going to play 48 minutes a game. We're naturally should get a good sample size of what this offense could look like when one of them is not on the floor. And that's just one of the things I'm looking for. Who are we buying the hype on? Are we going to buy the hype that Frank Ntilikina is going to run this offense? Are we going to buy the hype that Jaden Hardy can run this offense at times? Is Josh Green going to be a ball handler? Like, how is this offense being ran when Luka's not on the floor, when Dinwiddie's not on the floor? It's something I have to watch this. I have to see, are we going to walk away from this saying, all right, not bad. Frank held his ground. Didn't look too bad. Or, ooh, man, they can't get in any sets. Or, I mean, what if Josh is running backup point guard and the team just wants to pick him up full court and he's struggling to bring the ball to the floor? And then we're like, all right, well, we got to figure something out. Who's going to be this guy? These are the type of things, or it could be not a big deal at all, but it's something I'm definitely looking for this preseason. Another thing I'm looking for is how healthy Tim looks. Is Tim just 100%? It feels like he is. It feels like he's back to normal. He's saying all the right things. The team's saying the right things. I don't know if you know this, but the team is viewing him like a a free agent addition, that he was kind of like a free agent for him this summer, if you've heard anybody say that from the Mavs. But Tim is back and he's feeling good. And I want to see what he looks like in this role off the bench. Remember, we haven't got to see really Tim and Dinwiddie together. So this whole I was kind of excited to see what that duo would look like off the bench if Brunson was going to come back, but now Dinwiddie's going to be starting. So it's like, all right, Tim's going to kind of lead this bench unit scoring wise with Christian Wood. So how healthy does he look? Does he look like he's 100%? Lastly, the fifth thing that I'm looking for this preseason, how locked in, not locked on, how locked in is Christian Wood? I want to see it. Is he just ultra motivated? Is he just ultra locked in from on both sides of the floor? I want to see, are we going to see like best defensive version of Christian Wood in the preseason? We're talking blocking shots inbounds, not out of bounds. We're talking, I mean, holding his own on the perimeter. People's trying to target him on switches and he's holding his own. He's blocking shots off the backboard. They can't get a shot off. Is this the best defensive version of Christian Wood we're going to see this preseason? Are we going to see Christian Wood just try to take over a game to when, let's say Luka's out against OKC, maybe, and then Christian Wood's just going to do his thing and he goes off? I want to come out of preseason with us having the talk saying, all right, Christian Wood's playing too dang well. We got it. Like, what's this going to look like? Is this really going to be a debate? I really want to see that. How locked in he's going to be. I almost said locked on. How locked in he's going to be on both sides of the floor, running offense. What if he's not getting the ball, a few possessions? Is it going to be a little bit like KP? How similar will it be to the KP experience? I'm fascinated by it. I want to see it. I want to see his attitude coming off the bench. A lot of times in preseason, sometimes what you'll see is, let's say a guy like JaVale's not going to play. Sometimes you might not see Christian Wood start because they want to keep these like units together. And so I want to see how he takes that, if that's the case, and all of that. So Christian will watch that. So anyway, those are my 5 things. I want to see how is the hype real with Josh Green. I want to see how comfortable Jaden Hardy is out there. I want to see what this offense looks like whenever Luka and Spencer's not on the floor. Let's see how healthy Tim is. Is he 100%? Does he look like normal? And then how locked in is Christian Wood in the preseason and going into the regular season? Those are the 5 things I'm looking for this preseason. Let's talk about. No, I'm not doing an ad break. Let's talk about this GM survey. Hold on. Let me find this link right here. All right. GM survey. Let's look at this thing. So top of it, it's on NBA.com. John Schumann, sorry if I didn't say his name right, basically interviewed or polled all 30 GMs across the league. And these are some things, we're just going to go down through the list. I started to make some notes and I was like, screw that. Solo pod, I'm just rocking with it. We're just going to talk about each one. We're just going to hang out today. All right. This is what we're doing. First question is, which team will win the 2023 NBA Finals? Milwaukee Bucks, 43%. Overwhelming favorites. Warriors were 25% of this. Clippers, 21%. Boston, 11%. Kind of shocking to me a little bit with everything that's going on with them that they were the 4th pick in that. But yeah, Bucks at 43%. I get that. I mean, I think a lot of people, including myself, like when we were talking to Theo Pinson in our media day interview, you saw that. You saw Theo ask us. You saw him crack up laughing when Nick picked Denver. He also asked us, who's the 1 seed in the West and who's the 1 seed in the East, and right then in that moment, my mind just went to Milwaukee and the Clippers, and as the 1 seeds in both conferences. And I think that's where I'm at. I think that's going to be the overwhelming favorite for a lot of people. Clippers are just so deep. I think Giannis is just going to be just an absolute monster this year, like he always is. But Clippers, Golden State, kind of for when they were polled for the Western Conference. In that poll for the Western Conference, this is how it shook up. Clippers, Golden State, Phoenix, Denver, Memphis, and then it was a tie at 6 with Dallas and Minnesota. Then the Lakers and New Orleans. But oh well. Just as long as we're over the Lakers, that's all I care about. Now, MVP. Luka Doncic, 48% of the vote. Giannis, 34% of the vote. Joel Embiid, 14% of the vote. Luka, almost 50% of the GMs think that Luka Doncic is going to be the MVP this season. And I think that's a great pick. And I just said it the other day. I think this is going to be Luka's best season of his career. I think there's some narrative to it on his side too, that he's hearing the Brunson stuff that, oh, Brunson left. They're going to take a step back. I think he probably wouldn't admit it because he's like, hey, I don't need any more motivation. I'm always motivated. But I think it deep down, it's going to be a little bit more added motivation that, hey, I want to show y'all just how good I am. Let's take a quick break and then we'll be back talking about the rest of the survey. All right, I'm back. This question is the one that fascinated me. If you're starting a franchise today, we're talking about the GM survey on NBA.com. If you're starting a franchise today, you could sign any player in the NBA. Who would it be? Giannis at 55%, Luka Doncic at 45%. Last year, Luka Doncic won or had the highest vote of this, but Giannis overtaking him in this. I get it. I was fascinated by it, but I get it. I mean, if there's one other player in the world, Giannis dominated so much of this GM survey, and rightfully so. This dude is probably the best NBA player in the world right now, basketball player in the world, and he deserves it. This dude has won an NBA title, won on the biggest stage, and put up ungodly numbers on the biggest stage. So he deserves it. He's a monster. He puts up numbers yeah. So I get it. I'm not upset about this. I think if there's any other answer to this, I would be upset about it. I would still take Luka just because of the age factor and all of that, because Giannis is obviously a little older than him. But oh well, not mad about it. Yeah, which player forces opposing coaches to make the most adjustments? Steph Curry, 52% on this was the runaway winner of this. Luka tied for fourth on this at 7%. So that was just the least notable. Giannis, Jokic, Embiid above Luka on that one. Breakout season candidates, Evan Mobley. No, shocking. No Mavericks on this one. Best point guard in the NBA. The GMs voted Steph Curry at 72%. Luka Doncic, 14%. How do we feel about that one? Is it that big of a runaway that Steph Curry is the best point guard in the NBA? Once again, I get it because he just won the title and it's Steph, top 10 player of all time. I think they struggled with what Luka is, though, because we had the traditional positions on here for this survey. Somebody don't tell Yoda or else he's going to flip out because we all know he invented no positions. Because Luka Doncic, that was a joke. If y'all didn't know that, he did not invent that. But best shooting guard, Luka got votes for that. He was second in that behind Booker. Best small forward, Luka was third in that behind Tatum and Durant. So I don't think they really knew what to do with Luka, and that's the problem because Luka showed up on all three different positions on here, and he was at least in the top three for small forward, shooting guard, and point guard. So I just laughed at that one. I don't really care about that. But anyway, let's look at some offseason moves. Shocker on this one, but Dallas was nowhere to be found on any of this stuff. Which team made the best overall offseason moves? Cavs ran away with that with the Mitchell addition. Most underrated player acquisition, Malcolm Brogdon. 28% of the vote on that. PJ Tucker, John Wall, DeAnthony Melton, Bojan Bogdanovic. Sure. If Brogdon's healthy, yes, that was an underrated move for Boston. Trying to figure out any other most surprising move of the offseason. GM said Rudy Gobert, 47%. Yeah, pretty surprising. Shout out to the one GM who said Andre Drummond to Chicago was the most surprising move of the offseason. Weird answer, guys. We don't really care about any of the rookie stuff because, I do want to say shout out to Tari Eason for which rookie was the biggest steal at where he was selected in the draft. Tari Eason tied for first on this result, 14%. My man, Y'all know that. Best international player in the NBA, Giannis obviously took this one because if they're going to vote for Giannis to start a franchise with, so they're probably going to vote for Giannis over Luka here. I was kind of surprised that Giannis was 57% of the vote. Luka was 28% of the vote, and Jokic was 16% of the vote. Jokic is back-to-back MVP, and he is clearly behind Luka and Giannis in the eyes of GMs. And just thought that was interesting. Best defensive player in the NBA, Luka was number one. No, just kidding. Giannis at number one of that. Best perimeter defender in the NBA, Marcus Smart at 41%. The next one was Drew Holiday at 31%. That was kind of surprising to me that you hear just mixed results on how good Marcus Smart is as a perimeter defender. And that 41% of the GMs think he's the best is, I don't know, it's kind of surprising to me a little bit. But coaches, Jason Kidd was literally nowhere to be found on anything. So, actually, that's a lie. Which head coach makes the best in-game adjustments? Jason Kidd received another vote. Like Ty Lue was number one, Nick Nurse number two, Spo was tied with Nurse at 2, and it said also receiving votes. Shout out to Rick Carlisle, Chris Finch, and Jason Kidd. Outside of that, we really don't see Jason Kidd anywhere. On best head coach with the best manager, motivator of people, I thought we might get a little love for Jason Kidd there. I mean, from defensive schemes to, yeah, I just thought that was kind of surprising. No Jason Kidd love from the GMs. And then just some random things, some miscellaneous stuff that the GMs were polled about that I thought was, I don't know, kind of interesting. I always like reading it. Like best home court advantage, they said Toronto, 21%. Which team is the most fun to watch? Golden State was at 52% of this. Once again, Dallas getting no love in this. Which team has the most promising young core? Cleveland pulled that one off for sure. Most athletic, Luka was not on this list. John Morant, 38% of that. Best pure shooter, this is the biggest gap between anything, which was a lot of fun. Steph Curry, 91%. For best pure shooter. This one was funny to me, all right? We have a Luka appearance here. GMs voted. Which player is the best at moving without the ball? Steph Curry, 81%. He's the best without the ball. Klay Thompson, 12%. Others receiving votes, Mikal Bridges and Luka Doncic. Nico, we know you voted for Luka here. All right. I love Luka. I don't know if Luka is one of the 4 best players in the entire NBA of moving off the ball. Just want to throw that out there. Sorry, Luka, if you're listening. Best passer in the NBA, Jokic, 72%. Luka Doncic tied for second with Chris Paul at 10%. Yes, Luka is one of the best passers in the NBA. Outside of that, we might be which player has the best basketball IQ? Luka came in at 5th on that. This one was a little interesting to me. Which player would you want taking a shot with the game on the line? GM said Steph Curry, 55%. Kevin Durant, Damian Lillard, and then others receiving votes: DeMar DeRozan, Luka Doncic, Jokic, Kawhi. I thought Luka might be a little higher up that list, but oh well. And then what rule most needs to change? The GM said coaches' challenges / automatic reviews, including keeping the challenge if it's successful. Sure, don't give a crap about that. But tied for second on that was free agency before the draft. I've always been a proponent of that. I would love to have the free agency period before the draft, or at least start before the draft. And then there's some other things on there. My takeaway from it is Luka's awesome. People think Luka's going to have an awesome season. But besides that, people are indifferent because there's different questions on there that are a little negative. And Dallas wasn't on that. Dallas wasn't on some of these really positive things. So I feel like that is the definition of being slept on, that you're not really being talked about. People are just hey, we're not really bashing you, but we're not. I've already heard some a few national pods give some win total over unders, give some other kind of national storylines, headlines that they're trying to talk about. And Dallas just isn't mentioned in some of it. So I think I don't think people know what to do with Dallas this year, so they're just kind of like leaving him alone. And you know what? That's fine with me. Let's just fly under the radar and go into the season and then have one of the best records in the Western Conference, top 4, top 5 seed in the West. But guys, I'll see you guys tonight. If you're going to watch the Mavs preseason game against OKC Thunder, once again, it's being streamed at Mavs.com. It's not going to be anywhere else. So if you want to watch the game, you got to go to Mavs.com, watch the stream, watch our broadcast. It's going to be a lot of fun. And I'll give a shout out to the Lockdown Mavs listeners. Peace out. Boo.